Hagridden. Art and Story by Jimmy Munkaspeni. 11:05:25, 9:32 a.m. Officer Davids responded to multiple reports of an aggressive vagrant wandering out of the forest. Davids observed the subject shouting incoherently and exhibiting violent behavior. The subject was taken into custody without significant injury, but he continues to resist. Unidentified Caucasian male, approximately 6 feet, estimated 30 to 35 years old, has no distinguishing features or tattoos. Subject has no identification on his person and remains confused and incoherent. 13:05:25. Patient John Doe transferred from police custody for psychological assessment. Doe is currently restrained in Seclusion Room 9 for his own safety and others. Dr. Desai has prescribed clozapine to manage the violent outbursts. The patient remains highly agitated and unable or unwilling to answer questions. He is in a narrow bed, comfortably warm next to a sleeping woman, their limbs entwined, her chest rising and falling with each breath. She seems familiar, but he has no idea who she is. Curiously, he cannot remember anything about himself either. His name and memories are an absent void. He can see photographs pinned to a cork notice board on the wall opposite and can recognize himself in several of them, but other details escape him. Textures around the room draw his eye. The wood knot patterns in the wardrobe, the stippled plaster in the ceiling, the wood chip wallpaper. Shapes morph, coalescing into recognizable patterns. Faces and animals appear like clouds floating in the sky. Combined with a pleasant tingling in his skin and euphoria, he realizes that he has ingested psychedelic drugs of some sort, and this is most likely the cause of his amnesia. Rather than panic, he decides to relax instead. The woman sleeps softly, her hair smells pleasant, and the best course of action seems to be to enjoy the experience while it lasts. He emerges from the forest onto a wide rocky plateau dotted with coarse red bushes, mountains forming towering walls of rock. Where two mountain walls meet, a thin, rocky stream emerges from a distant cave. The gurgling water splits the plateau down the middle, running to the edge, becoming a louder, rushing waterfall. The cave calls to him. He is kneeling on the dojo mats, practicing meditation. Slowing his breathing, he visualizes energy from the earth beneath him, surging into his body. He is humbled by how small and inconsequential he is against the vastness of the earth. How tiny and insignificant this planet is compared to the scale of the infinite universe. He is sitting on a soft floor in a sterile white room with soft walls. The men in white call him John when they come. The name feels wrong, but he will use it for lack of a better alternative. He absently goes to scratch an itch, but both his arms are tightly restrained across his torso in a thick, strong canvas jacket. Struggle is futile, frustrating, and painful. Panic rises within him. He is running blindly through the trees and bush, consumed by terror, eyes wide, breath ragged, branches whipping his face and arms, stinging, clothes and flesh catching and tearing on thorns. He is a child lost in the woods, crying snot and salty tears, separated from his school party while playing a game. No one responds to his cries, and he is imagining being abandoned amongst the trees forever, eating berries, sleeping on the cold ground while the bugs and small animals feed on him. Large, dark birds call from perches on high branches all around him. He is in a low cave enveloped in the deep, damp darkness of the rock. The cave is lit dimly by flickering firelight. His skin shivers in the cool air, aching for the scant warmth of the fire. White-robed figures stir at the edges of the shadow, chanting in harsh, guttural language he does not understand. The reverberating throat singing accompanied by rock pounding on rock, a subterranean heartbeat that mimics his own. Flesh bound painfully tight with coarse rope, the face of an old hag fills his vision, leathery, sagging, wrinkled skin framing pale green eyes, emanating ancient earthly knowledge. Dispassionate, her intense eyes bore into his soul. He is held down. The orderlies have returned, roughly administering more drugs. The panic and pain recede as they take effect, and he sinks back into snatches of memory. He is not John, sitting quietly in a temporary oasis of calm within a crowded bar in the full bloom of Friday night revelries. His friends have gone to the bar for more drinks. On the empty dance floor, a single figure catches his attention. A small man with an abnormally, disturbingly large, clean-shaven head is spinning in place. This freak of nature stumbles and falls to the floor from dizziness, giggling in an unearthly, jarring manner before clambering unsteadily to his feet once more to resume spinning. Abruptly, in his altered state, Not John surges to his feet and exits the bar through nearby double doors and breathes in the cool night air. He sits down on concrete steps next to an acquaintance from his course. Taking the offered joint, he deeply inhales and passes it back, observing correct stoner etiquette. Across the courtyard, a young man with dark hair sits hunched over on the ground, obscuring his face. Not John looks away, people watching. When his gaze returns, the dark-haired young man does not appear to have stirred, yet a steaming pool of vomit has appeared. Reflexively, Not John averts his eyes, but they flick back, curious, to find the young man has utterly vanished, leaving the pile of spew behind as though he was never there. Wandering out of the bar, weaving slightly from side to side, and sniffing the air like a creepy hunter, comes the weird fellow with the huge head, immediately zoning in on the puke as though expected. Unable to resist the train wreck-like magnet pull of the horrific, Not John watches the alien-esque creature study the thick, warm puke intently for a second, before squatting to firmly press a naked hand into the steaming sick, deliberately spreading the porridge-like lumpy mess in a smooth circle before using one finger to draw eyes and a smile. The alien stands to admire his work before swaggering off into the night to find his spaceship. Not John hovers on the edge of insanity for a frightening moment before fear of shock and disgust from everyone nearby reveals that this did, indeed, actually happen. A raven lands to feast. Several more stare from the surrounding rooftops. He is a child dreaming, walking barefoot across a golf green, toes luxuriating in the luscious, perfect grass. The size of the green is defined by every human he has laid eyes on so far during his life, standing shoulder to shoulder in a vast circle. He is leading a donkey by the reins, its rider an amalgamation of his friends, faces morphing between each other in a shifting blur. As he walks, he is trying to tell the funniest joke that has ever existed. Yet, when his mouth tries to form the words, the overpowering humor bursts forth in compulsive laughter. His stubborn nature irritated, he concentrates hard and attempts once more to force the words out, this time breaking into wild, uncontrollable laughter, unable to stop even when it becomes painful. He falls to his knees and then to his face, laughing loudly until it is not his own laughter but the insane cackling of the old hag. Her arms raised above her head, holding something dark and sharp. The laughter merges with the cawing of ravens before her arms plunge down. He is in a bar again, sipping water, struggling to breathe, a sharp pain in his chest. Despite the crowds of tightly packed people, he feels isolated from those around him, deeply alone, very aware that he is dying. He has a high tolerance for drugs and alcohol, but the amounts he has used for self-medication over the last several days have been considerable. There is fear of the death and the unknown, but he remains calm, resigned to his fate with no regrets. He is young still yet, has lived loudly and brightly to the full, more than most ever do. In this moment in time, he becomes hyper-aware of his existence, completely present and alert. The observer behind the eyes, a being of light housed within his physical body. From this extremely specific point on the linear timeline that stretches out behind him, he can sense all the other moments of awareness experienced throughout his life. All the epiphanies, extreme joy, and trauma punctuating the timeline at specific intervals, yet simultaneously the same moment that he exists in. Ahead is difficult to perceive. There is a blurred barrier he cannot sense past. He is aware there is more to come. He will not die here now. When he does, he will still be here existing now. He is a toddler stepping purposefully on a pink baby bird struggling weakly on the grass. Bones crunch, and a woman screams. There is chanting in the background, the flapping of wings. He is at a house party, smoke-filled air and knitted sweaters. A woman he was talking to has a sudden migraine, face scrunched up with intense pain. He asks permission to try something. She acquiesces. Channeling energy comes easily to him, and he lays hands on both sides of her temple, rhythmically breathing his light into her head, his hands hot. Her eyes snap open, wide-eyed in awe and wonder, splitting headache abruptly cured. Everyone in the room is staring at him and muttering between themselves. He becomes uncomfortable with the attention, mutters apologies and leaves, the woman following him to the door, thanking him effusively. In his paranoia, ravens seem to be following him home, perching on lampposts and rooftops. He is hit. A hard, sudden impact to his skull reverberates and vanishes into blurred white noise. He slowly regains awareness. Tracheal, slow drips of dark blood splashing on his shirt, accelerating slowly at first, then a splashing torrent absorbed by his shirt. The mugger is rifling through his wallet, looking for cash that is not there. Frustrated, his assailant strikes him again, a clumsy blow easily blocked when he knows it's coming. Another strike, another block. His brain restarts, and he stands defiant. The mugger runs, feet slapping, echoing loudly in the quiet night. He is hit again. Stars explode inside his head. Time slows. Sluggish at first, then rushing back. The strong farm boy almost knocked him unconscious with the first blow, despite the gloves and padded headgear. Tasting blood in his mouth, he grins and moves in, flowing forwards in a flurry of punches and kicks, taking the fight to his opponent. He is a child running home with a broken arm, the muscle protruding at an awkward angle, a deep, dull ache throbbing within. His tears are too frequent. His mother does not believe he is injured. She has green eyes, which feels wrong. She laughs. The ravens caw. He blinks. An orderly stands over him, fist clenched, dressed in white, laughing. The second orderly is leaning against the wall, singing, oddly deep and guttural. Feathers flutter. The old hag holds an object aloft, black and dripping. It pulses in harmony with the beat of stone on stone. Shadows of wings explode in the peripheral. He is in the cave, bound. He is in the forest, running. He is in the padded room, restrained. He is in the crowded bar, dying. Someone nearby is laughing. Wings flap. Ravens croak in the dark.